Hello friends, and welcome to another edition of FCC Kids. Do you know what the difference is between wisdom and knowledge? I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. Even as adults, we sometimes struggle with knowing the difference. Today we're going to play a game that tests how well you know wisdom. Ben and Jordan are good friends. When a new boy moves into the neighborhood, Ben's dad suggests they should invite the new kid over to play basketball. Ben and Jordan are shy, and they prefer to play alone. But they take Ben's dad's advice anyway and end up having a great time. Wise or not wise?
Wise! That's good to do. They would have fun. Yeah, they would have fun.
At recess, Jenna's classmate told her, "Don't talk to Sally. She's weird and she laughs funny. Let's ignore her." Jenna was afraid to speak up for Sally, so she went along with her classmate's advice to ignore her. Wise or not wise?
Not wise. Unwise. And you should not listen to someone if they say something.
Lisa likes to play with Sarah, but she's been noticing that Sarah has been lying a lot lately. Lisa told Sarah that lying goes against what God teaches, and people won't trust her if she keeps lying. Sarah said she didn't care. Is Sarah acting wise or not wise?
Not wise. Not wise. And you are not wise. And that's it. 1, 2.
Trisha was angry that Ashley was bragging about beating her again in soccer. Trisha talked to Ashley and told her that it hurt her feelings. Ashley didn't realize this and said she was sorry. Wise or not wise?
Wise. And
Did you play along with our game? How did you do? Knowledge is knowing things, and wisdom is how to use that knowledge for God's glory instead of our own. Today we're going to continue our journey through King Solomon's life and talk about the wisdom that God gave him. You might remember that when Solomon became king, God asked him what he would like God to do for him, and instead of asking for power, money, or to get rid of his enemies, Solomon asked God for wisdom. We are going to look at a few instances where Solomon used God's wisdom for his glory.
Solomon was a wise king. As his wisdom grew, so did his influence. God used his influence to accomplish great things for Israel. One night, 2 women were sleeping on a bed with their babies. One of them woke up the next day to discover her baby had passed away during the night and took the other woman's baby while she slept. The second woman knew that the dead baby was not hers, and so she took the matter to the king. "Why had you come?"
"Me and this woman share a house, and while we slept on our bed with our baby, hers died in the night. She tried to take my baby and say the dead one was mine." "That is a lie! This is my child! I am his mother!" "This is my child, Lord King. He's mine."
As the two women argued, King Solomon thought to himself, then said,
Both of you say this baby is yours. Someone bring me a sword.
I got a sword.
I'll cut this baby in half so each of you can have a piece.
Wait, no, don't. I love you too much. But she can have the baby. I just don't want him to be killed.
Go ahead, kill him. Then neither one of us will have him.
Don't kill the baby. She's the mother. She's the true mother.
Solomon's wisdom amazed the people of Israel. He was a wise king who made good judgment.
News of Solomon's wisdom spread to many parts of the world. He wrote many proverbs and songs, and his wisdom was so great that many kings sent their officials to hear his rulings and advice. One ruler, the Queen of Sheba, heard of Solomon's wisdom and brought many gifts to Solomon and sought to test his wisdom.
Introducing your Queen of Sheba.
She took along several of her officials, and she loaded her camels with gifts of spices, jewels, and gold. When she arrived, she and Solomon talked about everything she could think of. He answered every question, no matter how difficult it was. Then, when she had seen Solomon's palace, his servants, and how he served his guests and his wisdom, she was amazed. She told Solomon,
Solomon, in my own country, I had heard about your wisdom and all you had done, but I didn't believe it until I saw it with my own eyes. And there's so much I didn't hear about. You're wiser and richer than I was told. Your wives and officials are so lucky to be here, where they can listen to the wise things you say. I praise the Lord, your God. He is pleased with you and has made you king of Israel. The Lord loves Israel, so he has given them a king who will rule fairly and honestly.
The Queen of Sheba gave Solomon almost 5 tons of gold, many jewels, and more spices than anyone had ever brought into Israel. In return, Solomon gave her the gifts he would have given any other ruler, but he also gave her everything else she wanted. Then she and her officials went back to their own country.
In his wisdom, Solomon wrote much of the book of Proverbs, the Song of Solomon, and some people think much of the book of Ecclesiastes. When we use God's gifts, especially wisdom, in the right ways, God will honor himself through our use of them, and other people will hear about him, just as the Queen of Sheba had. How are you going to seek wisdom and use it for God's glory? The wisest thing we can do is to give our lives to Jesus Christ. If you have not done this, we want to invite you to talk to your parents, preachers, or other Christian adults in your life to find out how you can be wise in Jesus.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6.
Solomon, in my own country, I had heard about your wisdom.
And invite them if you want to invite them. Even if your parents say yes or no. If they say no, then you can't. Yeah. Or if their parents tell them, your parents say They have to be.
Yeah.
You should do something that's right.
Yes.
You should come near them and play.
And say, can I bless you?